Hi and welcome guys. Today I'm going to be doing a review on a travel mug. The travel mug in question being this, which is the Contigo Autoseal. Contigo, you see there. Now, this particular mug is one that I got about 2.5 months ago now. It's been in very regular use day in and day out since then. It gets used every single day, several times a day, and most weekends as well. It holds, I'll just pour out the liquid there so I can tell you precisely what we have, and that is just over 400 millilitres. So it holds just over 400 millilitres, a cup typically being 250 millilitres, so it's a good measure of coffee for your morning coffee. It has a lid with a specially patented auto seal feature with this button here. Now you press this button and it simultaneously opens the drinking spout and a breathing spout at the back. You release that button and it makes the whole thing completely airtight. It has a silicone bead seal inside there, and as I said, that's the mechanism. You can see, I don't know how well that will show, but you can sort of see the little bits moving inside there. The lid is dishwasher proof. You can just pop that straight in the dishwasher as it is. The body, if you've got the plain silver one, as in the non-coloured anodised one, is also dishwasher proof, and you just pop it in the dishwasher. In a manner of speaking, they're all dishwasher proof. It's just that if you dishwash the coloured ones, then it will eventually start to strip the anodised colouring from the cup. The cup cost me somewhere in the region of £20 from Amazon, and got some information on the bottom of it there, Contigo, and it will tell you that the lid, dishwasher safe lid, hand wash body, do not microwave. Obviously it's metal, common sense. You'll see the edges around there are kind of worn. That's just with the putting down, lifting up, and being scooted across all manner of surfaces. It's got a nice little character dent, I like to call it, at the bottom there, where it's been dropped 2 or 3 times. You know, these things happen, and it is still holding up. Takes a licking, keeps on ticking, as they used to say for the old Seiko, I think, was it? Something like that. So yeah, it's very, very good. And what I'm going to do now is a comparison test with a good old-fashioned garage forecourt travel mug. With this particular one, I can't recall, to be honest, if it was a garage forecourt or a supermarket, or much of a muchness, frankly, because I've lost bloody count of all these things that I've had. Because they're rubbish, and I've bought so many of them, so many of the damn things over the years, in the hopes of getting a decent travel mug that will keep my hot drink hot for a good period of time, and also have good anti-spillage features should it get tipped over onto the seat of the car, for example. To provide a base for these tests and start them on an even footage, I'm going to fill both of the cups with water from the cold tap, from the same jug, so that you can see that we're not starting one off with an advantage over here. Yes. I'm going to take my digital thermometer, around 15 degrees, and likewise 14.9, they're both reading, so 14.8. I'll just put that on hold, and hopefully you can see that just there, cracking. So what I'm going to do now is boil up this awesome looking kettle that you can see here. I'm going to tip out the contents of both of these cups. I'm going to fill the both of them with water that's freshly boiled from the kettle. course you'll have heard the saying, a watched kettle never boils. As you can see, that's absolute nonsense because you've just seen that for yourselves. So, I'm going to fill both of these cups with boiling water straight from the kettle right up to their maximum lines. I'm going to take my thermometer, take a reading. Just wait for that to stabilise, and I think it's pretty close. We'll call it near enough at that. That one's 98.6 degrees, and this one should also be around about the same. Now interestingly, this one's reading about 92 degrees, 91.7 showing there, but it reached 92. Now that is right from that's right from the outset. What I'm going to do now is cap both of these with their supplied caps. Now that's immediately being poured from the same kettle straight into the same cup. So there's an immediate temperature loss from the old style cup, as you can see there, and just touching the sides that feels very hot already, whereas the Contigo is one of the things I do like about this is the cool wall touch feature. You wouldn't know that there was a hot liquid inside there, you quite literally cannot tell. The only portion of this cup that gets hot during use is this tiny little bit right up near the neck, where obviously the wall's thinner, and this sort of quarter of an inch of the bottom of where it seals, and you can tell that it seals well because you've got that little pressure spurt there if you give it a swizzle and listen carefully. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is leave these, and I'm going to check the temperatures at half-hourly intervals, and this will give you an idea of how well this particular one retains its heat. But just before I do that, you've just seen me pour water in there at nearly 100 degrees, and just to show you how confident I am in its sealing abilities, I'll upend that straight over my hand and give it a good old shake. Now you can see that is completely watertight. It's the first and only travel mug I've ever had that's been as watertight. Okay, we're now 40 minutes past the hour, so we're half an hour in, and I'm going to get my thermometer and I'll check the temperatures again. Now, to give the old travel mug a fighting chance, and that's scorching hot, you know, well it's actually, it was when I first poured it, it's not that hot now, I can feel it, but to give the old travel mug a fighting chance, I'm not going to fully uncork it. Okay, so I'll put that hold there, 80.3 degrees C. As I say, I'm not going to uncap this, I'm just going to actually put the probe down the spout. Okay, we're stabilised there at 66.9 degrees C, although it did reach 67 degrees C. So that's half an hour. So I will check this again at 10 past. Uncap. And see where we're at with this one. .73 degrees. I was there at 57.2 degrees. This is now 1.5 hours after pouring in boiled water from the kettle into both cups. At 69 degrees. I think that's as high as that's going to go at 50.9 degrees. Two full hours it's been sat here. At 64.2 degrees C. .9 degrees C. .5 degrees C. .5 degrees. A very big difference, barely warm in comparison, and bearing in mind this has been sitting in a relatively warm kitchen. It's not had the effects of the outside on it. Likewise this hasn't, but as I say, you can tell the actual temperature difference on the wall of the cup itself. You can tell this is not going to lose a lot of heat, whereas this one is, and that's already what I would consider too cold to drink. In fact, it was an hour ago. And I know in real world terms, you take this one out, and if you've not drunk the coffee within half an hour, it's kind of lukewarm and not very nice. This one is still good after a couple of hours. I think we can call it done at that. I'm not going to take any more measurements at this point. So I did this test basically just to demonstrate the differences between them and the amount of heat loss. As I say, I was kind with this one by leaving the lid on the whole time, where I had to take the lid off this one to test the temperature. And in addition to that, this isn't, well, neither one of them are subject to outside temperatures. They're both sitting in a relatively warm kitchen, so this has actually fared considerably better. I suspect in outside conditions this would be down to about 30 degrees or so, possibly lower, whereas this one wouldn't be much different. That I can guarantee, because I have been using this one extensively for a good couple of months now, and when I say extensively, believe me, this gets used a lot. First cup in the morning, and then I'm filling it 3 or 4 times throughout the day. I like my coffee, and I like my coffee hot. Well, that pretty much sums up the review of the Contigo Autoseal travel mug, which, when it says Autoseal, it really does autoseal. It's a great mug. It's initially I was a little unsure about the lack of a handle, but you find that this fits the hand really, really well, and with it being relatively slim, it will store in a lot of places that your typical travel mugs won't.